the small things you can be doing to really wow a customer. I'm talking about the things that don't take a lot of effort. They certainly don't take a lot of money, but if you can make a habit around these things, you can absolutely start to make an impact with your buyers. We're going to talk about it today on the podcast. Hey, everybody, my name's Blake Benz. I'm the host of the Good Advice Podcast. And if you're looking for good advice on your business and what to be doing to grow the business, this is the place. This is the spot. We don't do a lot of theory on the podcast or academic stuff. It's just the stuff that actually works here on the show. And I appreciate you tuning in today. Whether you're a first-time listener, you've been listening for a long time, thanks so much for the support. We're going to dive into the episode, but before we do, we have a word from one of the businesses that sponsored today's episode. And from there, if you want to support the podcast, you can always check out our Patreon, patreon.com/goodadvice. We'll be right back soon. So the thing that I love most in my life is being a dad. Seriously, I love being a dad. I love having my 5-year-old. I got a 3-year-old, and we just welcomed a new baby to our family. I don't know if saying that makes it sound like I picked him up from the store. We had a baby a couple of weeks ago, and honestly, what blows my mind is just how quick it all goes. I mean, I can think about my 5-year-old as a toddler. I can think about her crawling across the floor, and just last week, she was razzing me. She was giving me a hard time and teasing me, and I thought, who is this 5-year-old? What's going on here? Now, one of the things that's also true about me is I've never been very good at keeping track of some of the most special, treasured memories with my kids. I have like their ultrasound pictures that are just like stuffed in a drawer somewhere. And I also have these like random notes that I've taken from here or there of just like special memories in the day. Well, I was totally floored when I came across DuncanandStone.com and the incredible premium journals that they've put together for dads just like me. And not just dads, but moms, grandparents, anybody who's looking to keep track and capture those truly special memories. They have a journal for you. I personally like the Childhood Memory Book, and I'm also eyeing the Dear Daughter Notebook so that I can capture some of the most fun, special memories with my daughter, and then I can give that to her when she's older. But check out the website, and chances are there's a journal for you and a great opportunity to keep track of some of those most special memories in your life with your loved ones. Go to DuncanandStone.com, and if you use the coupon code GOODADVICE, you're actually going to save 20% on their journals. Again, use the coupon code GOODADVICE to save 20% on their journals. That's at DuncanandStone.com. All right, not talking about anything too mind-blowing today, but something that, is just continuing to get under my skin a little bit of how people like to do business, or rather the laziness around business. We live in a world where there's no customer appreciation anymore. Nobody's doing it. At most, you get the pre-printed happy birthday card, or, it's like stamped by the person that. And actually now people are pretty clever about it. You can get like the signature printed on the card so it looks like it was signed, but it wasn't really signed. And yeah. So, I mean, people are, they're pretty good at least pretending like customers matter, but few people are actually doing the things that really do matter. Now, we've talked about this at length on the podcast. It's not a new concept. If you're a longtime listener, this is your reminder to call your customers, to call the people who've been loyal to you, and to do the smallest thing that shows them that you appreciate them. This is your reminder to say, hey, thanks for putting your dollar in my pocket versus any number of my competitors, which, by the way, in this digital world that we live in, they do have so many options of competitors. I'll go ahead and tell you, if you're one of those business owners who thinks that no one can do what you do, no one offers what you offer, you are in serious trouble, because these days, I mean, so many things are a commodity. It's so easy to find a competing offer or a competing company, or to find someone who can do it cheaper, and not cheaper where it's poor quality, but cheaper and not really lose much of the value of what you were getting. So this is your reminder. Call your customers. Let them know you appreciate them. Don't send those silly little pre-printed cards. Send an actual card. Take a few minutes out of your day to send it, and let them know, hey, you do business with me. I'm a person. I'm a human. And I know that you do business with me, and I'm grateful for that. So if you stop the episode here, you've gotten the gist of it. You get it. You understand it. And it's kind of a wild economy right now. We're talking a lot about inflation. We're talking about rising prices, the cost of things, grocery bills. I mean, it's just a wild world. There's definitely like some serious like existential crisis going on of with me and my fellow millennials on, our entire adult life has been one crisis after another, one traumatic economic event after another, and very much certainly a sense of like, when does this get easier? When is this? How does this work again? I mean, I was literally just talking to my barber the other day, who's also millennial, and he's like, "Man, yeah, this is it's just doesn't look like it's getting any better." So, you got to fight for every dollar you have. You have to fight for your business, and you can't be lazy. You can't be lazy. You can't wait around and hope for a customer to really enjoy working with you. I mean, you really have to go after your business and to set the tone for your customers. So let's talk about a couple of examples of how this isn't happening today. I have a pest control company that I've worked with for years. I've spent thousands of dollars. Well, I get this, and I'm not, if you run a pest control company, please don't call me I'm not going to swap. I already called them. I already talked to them. But I got this message, from this company, and it said, "Hey, Blake, we used to service your property. Can you reach back out to me? This is Susan," or whatever her name was. And I thought, that's weird. This is not only were they just at my house a couple weeks ago, but I just talked to them on the phone twice, actually, in the last month, because I have a newborn, and we were talking about when they would come by, and I was like, "Hey, we gotta think through when you guys come by, because if we wake up this newborn, it's not going to be great." So we had just talked on the phone a couple weeks ago, and I get this message that's like, "Hey, yeah, we'd love to talk about servicing your property again." And I'm like, "That's really weird." Well, later that day, I get another message, same person, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, it's Susie again. Did you get my earlier message?" In which I'm kind of like annoyed now. I'm thinking like, this is so strange. So I'm thinking like, maybe this is a scam. Like maybe someone got their contact list, and I didn't recognize the number. I don't think it was a 479. Maybe it was. Well, so I call their office, and I'm like, "Hey, do you have like someone named Susan who works there?" And they're like, "Yes, we do. She's our, I don't know what she was, like business development or office manager or something." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I got these text messages. Like, what's going on? Because like I'm not only am I currently a customer, but I've been a customer for a decade. I've spent, probably 10 grand with you guys. Like, what's going on?" And the person's like, "I can see that. Yes." And basically she goes, "We're using this new AI tool, and it's not supposed to message. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. It's supposed to reach out to old customers and not current customers. And the thing is since you moved, it still has your old address listed as like a previous customer, yada, yada. We got it all fixed," which not a big deal. AI has lots of cool stuff with it. There's lots of kinks to work out. It's not going to work perfectly. It just happens, right? But it did get me thinking a little bit. I thought, you guys probably have tons of customers. You probably have tons of customers who've spent way more money than I do. And by all means, I could be a tiny customer in your list of customers, but it also would be nice for there to have been some thought around, "Hey, let's look at the list of people who are going to get messaged. Let's at least scan through it." Or something else, if you're talking about AI, something else you could have done is you could have taken the list of people that were going to get messaged and take your current customer list and put that into ChatGPT and said, "Hey, can you remove anyone who's currently a customer?" And it probably would have taken maybe 10 minutes, and ChatGPT would have done that for you. So again, not really a big deal, but also kind of a thought of, hey, I've been a customer for a decade, especially with, I used the word commodity earlier. Pest control is an absolute commodity. I mean, I think about in one summer, I'm going to have 4 or 5 pest control companies knock on my door. and ask if, they can treat my property. It's just going to happen, right? So knowing the kind of churn that your industry has, it seems like there's even more reason to reach out and have small touch points, even if they're insignificant. And in fact, I'd argue that the insignificant touch points are actually the ones that make the most impact because your customers know that you're genuinely reaching out and it's not for some, ulterior motive, right? So I'm a big fan of small things. I'm a big fan of little things you can do that, just lets a customer know, hey, I appreciate you. Look, a few ways that I do that with my customers. I just bought a cigar box for a customer who's a big cigar guy, and he spends a ton of money on good advice. He's just been a great customer. So bought a cigar box for him. I had a customer a couple of years ago that I bought a jersey for. And some of these things, by the way, are a little bit pricey. I mean, you might spend 200, $300. I mean, I think the jersey was like $200 or something, maybe $300. But when a customer spends, 10 grand, it's a drop in the bucket, right? And then I've had customers that have gotten thank you cards. I have a customer that just bought from me who I'm about to send a letter in the mail, just a handwritten note that says, hey, I appreciate you. I had a customer last week, a new customer, 2 weeks ago, excuse me, who did a very cheap offer. Cheap sounds rude. I don't mean it that way. In terms of like levels of buying, he bought the cheapest thing that I offer, which is the maintenance plan. And even that person got a video from me that said, "Hey, thank you so much for buying from me. I really appreciate it." So I'm just always looking for these small opportunities to let someone know that you are an individual customer, not just a line item on a list of contacts, not just a, customer number 427. People, it's funny how, like, as technology develops and changes, people's appreciation for being an individual rather than one of many has never changed. It has never gone away. It will never go away. It will always be something that someone likes. It is to be noticed. Imagine that you are in a room and someone you admire walks in, whether that's, I don't know, a celebrity or just someone in your life you appreciate, and they say, hey, I want to brag on someone today. Hey, I want to give some appreciation to someone today. People have a natural thought of, man, I hope that's me. I hope they're going to say my name. Oh, could it be me? Now, granted, you're not processing all of these things in the moment, but there is an excitement. And especially when someone calls on you and say, hey, you did a great job, or I was at a meeting today and I gave someone some props because I really appreciated what they were doing. And that I could just tell the person appreciated that. People like being noticed and individualized. So why would you run a business where every single person that does business with you is one of the many? I mean, I can't think of a worse thing for someone to reach out to you about your services and to already be a customer of yours and for them to have to tell you that they are a customer. Now, granted, if you're running, I have a customer that, I mean, he runs they run a monthly service. He has They have around 80,000 subscribers monthly. So like in those cases, you're not going to, um, you're not, oh, it's you, it's John, number 2,837 of 80,000. That's not going to happen. I'm not suggesting you go through and memorize your customer list. But if a customer is going to call me or I'm going to call a customer, a few things I am going to do, I'm going to look and see when did they first buy from me? How much have they spent from me? I'm going to look about where they are from, where do they live? I'm going to look at whatever other notes I have on that person, and I'm going to do whatever I can for that person to know that I appreciate their individual investment in my business, and not just your standard boilerplate professional. We're also used to the, thank you for holding. Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line. Like we're so like think about how immune you are to those kinds of things. Like, it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you for yeah, I get it. I'm so valuable that I'm on hold for 35 minutes. Like, we don't believe any of that stuff anymore. And in the same way, when you tell a customer, hey, I appreciate your business. Hey, thank you for buying from me. And it's one of these like generic emails, or, it's tagged on to the end of a request for them to spend more money or what have you. Even though you may mean it genuinely, it's rare for someone to see it genuinely, because everyone is just doing these basic polite things rather than actually showing and demonstrating meaningful customer service, meaningful appreciation. Actually doing things that let someone know, hey, thank you for buying from me. Thank you for being loyal to me. And I'm willing to take a few minutes out of my day to let you know that. Years ago, I don't do this anymore because I don't have the volume of guests on the show. There was a period with the podcast where I didn't do any solo episodes. It was just guests. And man, we were probably having 70, 80 guests on the show in a year. And I would write a handwritten note to all of those people at the end of each year. And it wasn't pre-printed. It wasn't copy-paste. It was handwritten about the episode they came on, their area of expertise. And I mean, doing 70 or 80 of them is definitely not the most fun thing to do, but it was important to me for every person to know, hey, I appreciate you and that you came on, that you did this. Thank you. If you can create a habit around this in your business, you'll be shocked how satisfied your customers are with you. More importantly, you will be amazed how much grace they have for you when you make a mistake. They will know what you stand for. They will appreciate you when, they'll appreciate that you're human, and they will, in a sea of competitors and choices, they will want to buy from you versus someone else. I've been on a lot of sales calls this last month, and not to toot my own horn, but to toot my own horn a little bit. I've noticed, I can think of 3 different conversations where the person buying said, hey, I'd rather buy from you than the person I'm currently buying from. Or, hey, I just was on a phone call with the guy today, and he said, yeah, I had 45 people email me this week, all selling me the same thing you're selling. I'd rather just buy from you, and it's not lost on me that the reason people are saying that is because I have chosen a certain way to do business that is simply different from how the majority are going to do business. And if you can build a habit around being intentional and genuine and appreciative and doing small things that show gratitude, you will be amazed the impact on your customers. Aside from all of that, you still got to do a great job. You still got to make sure you're delivering on what you said you would. None of this is a replacement for bad business. If you do a terrible job, sending a thank you note isn't going to mean anything. You got to do a great job, and all this kind of stuff is just the extra icing on the cake. It's the stuff that makes, when someone's gonna pay an invoice from you, it all feels a lot more palatable. And you'll also be surprised they won't begrudge getting invoices from you. I mean, I have customers who, is it time to pay up for the next year yet? Is it time to, I had a customer, I've had a few customers actually over the last year who, hey, I think I should probably send you a little bit more money, and like offer to give me more money, which maybe I'm underpricing services then, but it's just funny to me. It's funny to me. People seem to feel good about spending money with me. And I think that's a direct reflection of the way that I try to do business. So go and do the same thing with your business and your customers. And I think you'll find it's a little bit easier to weather some of the difficult storms that we're in when it comes to our economy. Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast episode. If you're a first-time listener, what the heck you waiting on? Click that subscribe or follow button so you can keep getting good advice wherever you are. Again, don't forget we have a Patreon, patreon.com/goodadvice. You can support the podcast for as little as $5 a month for the podcast. $5 a month, which is basically a cup of coffee. Excuse me. Beyond that, though, I do appreciate those of you who've listened long term, and certainly those who've supported the podcast and who have told other people about it. Again, I'm so grateful. That's today's good advice. We'll catch you later. See ya.